Good morning, my dear students. How are you all? Hope you all are doing well. Welcome to today's Social Studies online class. In the last class, we have discussed about the objectives of Constituent Assembly. First of all, why this Constituent Assembly is formed? It was formed to prepare the final draft of the Constitution. Final draft, that means taking into all the viewpoints of different committees, they prepare the final Constitution. That is what we are using today. And what are the main objectives of this Constituent Assembly? To attain independence and freedom. That is what, to get independence for our country and the freedom for us. Freedom from all sorts of oppressions. Whatever oppressions the people are facing, not only from the Britishers, not even it is from the large landowners or from the zamindars, from anybody else, the people should get freedom. And also transition from rural economy to modern planned agriculture and industry. Scientific methods. From rural methods of agriculture to scientific methods. And CA members agreed on this modern industry based economy and British type of party based elections. Okay children. Now what we have taken that type of elections and that parliamentary system from the Britishers. We have adopted this kind of elections what we are conducting today, and also the parliamentary system, how we used to have parliamentary meetings and all. This parliamentary system of government, we have taken that from the Britishers. Let us move to the next topic. As the Britishers decided to give freedom for India, we need a constitution. We were in a need of a constitution. Okay. To rule ourselves, we need a constitution. So, when Britishers decided to give freedom for India, we need a constitution. For that purpose, the Constituent Assembly was formed in the year 1946. Okay children. So, when Britishers leave India, how we would rule? For that purpose, we need a constitution. So for making of this constitution, Constituent Assembly was formed in the year 1946. And these members, the members of CA, Constituent Assembly, were not directly elected. As I have told you in the last class, the members of Constituent Assembly were not directly elected, but they were indirectly elected. Okay, by the members of provincial assemblies. Children, the cabinet mission, I have already told you, we had 11 provinces under British India. Yes, no? 11 provinces. So, when they decided to conduct elections in the provinces, when they decided to conduct elections in these provinces, what happened children? They had allotted seats. For each province, for different categorized people. That means for scheduled caste this many seats, for Hindus this many seats, for Muslims this many seats. Like that, seats are allotted for each province. Okay children. And for those provinces, those who are elected will be the members of the provincial assembly. Will will be the members of the provincial assemblies. So these members elected the CA members. Okay children, do you understand what I say? People in each province, they used to elect some leaders, and those leaders will be in the provincial assemblies. So these provincial assemblies, those who are elected for the provincial assemblies, those people, those leaders, they elected the CA members among themselves. Okay children, but these are not elected directly by the people. When elections were conducted in these provinces, in the provincial assemblies, princely states, that means the places, the kingdoms which were ruled by the kings, those were consulted. That means they were not present in these elections, but these were only their representatives are just consulted what is going on in the election and who won the election. Everything will be said, informed to these princely states, that's all. Among all these members, among all the members, those who are elected for the CA, Constituent Assembly, only there were 9 women members. 9 women only. Okay children. And the Indian National Congress, in these elections to the provinces, in the provincial assemblies, Indian National Congress, that is INC, had won 69% of seats. How much percentage of seats were won by the INC, Indian National Congress? 69%. And the second highest, the remaining seats are for the Muslim League. The Muslim League. And so, when our country is partitioned on 14th August 1947, our country was partitioned on 14th August 1947. The elected leaders of the Muslim League, those who are elected for the Constituent Assembly, those leaders were also partitioned. All the Muslim members went to Pakistani side. They formed separate Constituent Assembly. Understanding? Muslim leaders of CA, they have formed, when country was partitioned on 14th August 1947, Muslim members formed another separate CA, Constituent Assembly for Muslims. Why? Because they were on Pakistani side now. And Hindus, all the other Sikhs and all others, they formed a separate CA for India. These are making a constitution for India, and these were making constitution for Pakistan. Okay children. When it happened, when the time our country was partitioned. When the time these provincial elections were conducted, these princely states, they were only informed of these elections. They didn't attend. Why? Because they didn't attend to this provincial election. Why? Because at the time these princely states were not ready to join with the Indian government. That's why later on, one by one, they joined with the Indian Union. That's why in the beginning they did not attend these provincial elections. So here children, this CA, Constituent Assembly, it had taken a great care to make the constitution. To make the Constitution of India, the CA members had taken a great care. They have opted all the opinions of the people. They have considered all opinions of the people. Whatever work they are doing, they want to know, they want to give publicity for their work. That means they have allowed all the people to give their opinions through letters, through any type of things. They want through newspapers. They wanted people to give out their opinions. Understanding children? so that according to their opinions, people's opinions only, these laws were made by the CA, Constituent Assembly. At this time, Jawaharlal Nehru made a significant statement in the year 1946 December. What is that, children? The future of India that we have envisaged, the future of India that we are going to get, that is not alone to some people or some group of high class people or some group of poor people or like that, but it is the freedom for all. Understanding, children? This freedom is freedom for everyone, every Indian citizen. Okay, these laws and all and everything are not preparing for the sake of a few people of India, but these are made for whole people of India. This freedom what we are going to get is to all the people of India, not one or two, not to only one section of the society. A drafting committee was set up under the leadership of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. What is the drafting committee? That is one more question you will be getting in the exams. So, what is the drafting committee? Drafting committee was set up under the leadership of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Its duty is to prepare the final draft. The final draft. That means drafting committee means writing committee, children. So, there are various committees in the Constituent Assembly. In the Constituent Assembly, there are various committees. These committees, they will give out the report. These committees, they will give out the report to the CA, and those reports will be given to this drafting committee. That means those who are writing the constitution. Understanding? Their responsibility is to prepare the final draft. Understanding? And who is the head of the drafting committee? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Based on all the reports, based on all the viewpoints of the people, they prepare the final draft under drafting committee. Okay, this question will be asked under 1 mark, children. So this final draft was presented to CA. This, after preparing the final draft, this final draft is sent to the CA for discussion and approval. After preparing the constitution, this was sent to CA for approval. For approval means they should agree, they should accept. Constituent Assembly members must accept all the laws and all the rules, regulations, whatever they have prepared. Are they correct? Are they good for the society? Are they helpful to the people? That's what this Constituent Assembly must approve. Okay, and the constitution was finally adopted by the CA. That means accepted by the CA on 26th November. On 26th November 1949. This will be asked in the bits, children. When was constitution adopted? When was constitution adopted by CA? Okay, children. This will be asked under bits or 1 mark. CA adopted the constitution on 26 November 1949 and it came into force. When this constitution we began to use, it came into force on 26th Jan 1915. That's why we celebrate every year on 26th January as the Republic Day. Why? Because we started to rule our country, our governments rule our country according to the constitution, according to the laws of the constitution. Okay. See, children, this question will be asked under 1 mark. When was constitution adopted? On 26th by CA on 26th November 1949. When it came into force? It came into force when we began to use from 26th January 1950. Children, you all underline this drafting committee. A drafting committee was set up under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. and its duty, its responsibility is to prepare a final draft taking into the all viewpoints up to there you underline, children, in the textbook, in your textbooks. And now we say also you underline this adoption of constitution and came into force. These two things also you underline in your textbook. Now we see Constituent Assembly debates, CA debates. Okay, children. So this CA debates, under this CA there were various committees. I have told you before, there were various committees. What are those committees? You see, you underline the textbook, children. Powers Committee, Union Constitution Committee, Provincial Minorities, Tribal Areas, all these were the various committees in the Constitution Assembly. According to the report given by these committees, the drafting committee will prepare the final draft. They prepared the final draft. So children, here in this draft constitution, it is a formidable document. Draft constitution is a formidable document. What is this formidable document, children? Formidable document. That means we can made a little changes to this constitution. Why? Because according to the law, if any of the problem arises for the people, the government, not we children, the government will have the right to change some of the laws. That is a formidable document, and it is a bulky document. As I have told you before, our Indian Constitution is a bulky document with 395 articles and 8 schedules. This also underline, children. This will be asked under bits. This draft constitution has been before the public for 8 months. After preparing this constitution, this was put before the public for 8 months, Nana. So that any of the people had any of the doubts, if they want to change any of the laws which are kept in the constitution, they are free to express. Okay, people are given the chance to express their feeling about the laws which were put in the constitution. That's why this draft constitution was put before the public for 8 months. And the chairperson, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, highlights how this draft constitution was made. Okay, I have told you, children, he was a very knowledgeable person, very highly intellectual, and he was a great historian, economist. He had studied the constitution of many other prominent countries. Yes, no, children? Ambedkar tells us what are the form of government, what are the things he had taken from different constitutions of different countries. Okay, so like that we have parliamentary form of government. We have taken this thing from the Britishers. Okay, children, like that whatever things we have added into our constitution, those are taken from, if that is good, we can also apply that in our constitution. We also can follow that type of government. So like that parliamentary form of government was taken from the Britishers. So just we will discuss something more about what is this parliamentary form of government. That is what we are following in our country today. Okay. According to our constitution, what form of government we had? What government we are following now? That is parliamentary form of government. Okay, children, parliamentary form of government. So this type of government we have adopted from Britishers. So this type of government we see now in India and Britain, etc. Also in the history there is another form of government, that is presidential form of government, that is followed in USA. Now here, children, in our lesson this question will be asked under 4 marks, Nana. What is the difference between parliamentary form of government and presidential form of government? Now we see what are the differences between parliamentary form and presidential form of governments. The president is the head of the union but not of the executive. The president is the head of the union. That means the president is the head of the country. Yes, no ma? But not of the executive. Yes, no ma? Executive here means all the IAS, IPS, MROs and all. He is not, these are not working under him. Okay. The president is the head of the union, head of the country. He is the head of the country but not of the executive. The president here under presidential system, he is the head of the union and chief head of the executive. Here the president under presidential system of government, the president is the head of the country as well as he is the chief head of the executive. Okay. He represents the nation but does not rule the nation. Only he acts as a symbol of the nation. Okay. All the decisions that are taken under the prime minister level and all, those decisions were known to the people by the president's seal. That's all. He represents the nation. He is the symbol of the nation, but the president does not rule the nation under parliamentary system. Okay, children. This post is like a king in the Britain. In Britain also, the king acts as a head of the nation, but all the administration will be vested in the hands of other prime ministers. The same way our president also. The administration vested in him. Here under presidential system of government, all the administration is vested in the hands of the president. Okay. The ministers of different departments were under him. Here see children, all the different ministers of different departments were under the president. Here under the president, the secretaries of different departments were there. Under presidential system, the secretaries are under the president. Here the ministers of different departments were under the president. The president will be bound by the advice of his ministers. The president have no chance of taking his own decision, but he only listens to the advice of his ministers. Here the president is not bound by the advice of his secretaries. Whatever his secretaries advise the president here, he will not accept that. Okay, he will take his own decisions. The president has no power to dismiss his ministers unless he gets majority in the parliament. See children, if the president don't like his ministers, he has no power to dismiss his ministers. He has to put that problem in the parliament. If majority of the parliament members accept that, then only this minister will be dismissed. Otherwise, this president alone cannot dismiss any of his ministers. Here, the president under presidential system has the whole right to dismiss his secretaries at any time. So children, do you all understood what I said just now? We have seen here the difference between parliamentary form of government and the presidential form of government, and this question will be asked under 4 marks, Nana. Okay, so that I am going to end today's class. Children, I am so happy that most of you have sent homework last time during the last class, and I hope this time also you all do the homework in time and send it to me, children. If you have any doubts, you all are free to ask me. Okay, ma? Thank you.